All right, guys, welcome back. So here's the motor generator contraption. So this is the drive motor, has the trigger and run windings on it back to the K Energy Bedini circuit. This is the new coil that I just wound. That'll be a pickup coil, 1,000 turns, 25 gauge wire. I also made an iron core for it, but this one has a hollow center. So this iron core slips right in here. I'll have to slide it out though in order to slip it in, because right now it's pinned up against the coil holder there. And up here, I have my two other pickup coils with the iron cores. Now, I did some testing, and these two pickup coils with the iron core does give a higher voltage / current output, but not by much. So I don't even know if it's worth doing it. But yeah. And then I'm going to have all of these, this coil and these two coils. So this new pickup coil, which I have no idea what kind of output because I haven't tested it yet. I'm going to first hook these three in series and see what kind of output I get from that. Then I'll hook them in parallel to get a higher current output and see what kind of output I get from that. One thing I did notice though, so I've got this monster rotor, which has got way more magnetic flux than that smaller rotor that just has 4 barrel magnets on it. But this rotor gives a higher output for these two coils than this one. And I'm not sure why. I think it's because of the position of the magnets. These magnets, their flux is a lot tighter, and it goes into the middle of the coil and around the outside of the coil, whereas the bigger one, I think, overwhelms the two coils. Just a theory. But I was really surprised because I was able to get not much higher output, but definitely higher output with this one. So I ordered some smaller N52 barrel magnets, 6 of them. I'm going to build a rotor no bigger than this. Well, a little bit bigger than that, obviously, but it will have 6 on there to run in this configuration. That's a cool setup. I don't like the wires here. I should have put them on the other side. I still can. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. All right, I got a big load on this now. I wouldn't call it a big load. So for you, it's flickering. For me, it's solid on. I have each of those 12-volt LEDs in they're hooked up in a parallel fashion. I'm going to try to hook it up in series next to see how that works. You can tell that the motor is going a little bit slower because it has to work so hard. There's so much load on it right now. If I were to take this off, the motor would spin right up. See? Cool. Let me hook these puppies up in series and see how that works. All right, guys. So I got a couple of things going on. I got this monstrosity, and I'm gonna take these off and just use this coil and this circuit, the K Energy Bedini circuit, to charge one of these batteries. But in the meantime, I'm also messing around with this guy. I need to put a new shaft in there. You can see the shaft is not, it's actually spinning a lot faster than what it's showing on the video. I think the shaft is bent because it's been sitting here for a long time. It's a maglev. Let me turn it off. Yeah, it's an old maglev. You can see when I spin it like this, you can see, I think you guys can see that. I can see it. I think the shaft, and this is a stainless, this is 304 stainless steel, which is what you really need for a maglev. You don't want it to be magnetic. So I've got some more 304 stainless steel that I know is nice and straight. It's just that trying to do this with a bum hand is really tough because these ring magnets are really strong, and I've got big ring magnets on the shaft, and then this is a big ring magnet here, and it floats up against this back plate, which has another piece of stainless 304 stainless steel, and the shaft itself has a slight point. But yeah, you can see it's definitely a little bit wonky. Anyway, I'm going to get this guy hooked up. And I've got so much to do. I've got so much stuff and not enough time in a bum hand. It really sucks. I've got a new opto circuit. I'm going to use one of these shields for it on my Newman motor. I also have a new Hall circuit, Hall sensor circuit. All right, let me get this guy out of here and these out of here because I don't need them if I'm just going to try and charge up the battery. The battery's got about 3 volts on it. I don't know if it'll be able to be recharged or not, so stay tuned. So I've got it set up and it's charging the battery. This battery was at like 4 volts. It's going to take a while for it to charge up. It's at 11 volts now, 11 volts coming in. Everything's nice and cool on the circuit. Let it sit like that for a little bit and see what it does. Stay tuned. So I got it down to like 9 volts coming in. No, actually I'm going to go a little bit lower. 8 volts coming in. No, 9 volts. And I'm checking the circuit with my heat probe thing here. And everything seems to be okay. 79, which is just the ambient temperature, 78. The coil itself is 82, but again, I'm in a garage. The MOSFET, I think it's a MOSFET, and the little diode is the one that gets the hottest. Big diode, 80 degrees, that's not too bad. The little diode gets, and this is Fahrenheit, the little diode gets about 88 degrees. So I stopped it a few minutes ago and checked it, and it got up to about a stable 5 volts. So I think I need to let this guy run for a while. I should probably just turn it down because it doesn't need to run super fast or super hard. 7 volts should work. Let's see if we can't get this battery back to life. That knocking is just the stand itself. Cool. Let's let it run for a little while and see what happens. Stay tuned. Interesting, when I turned it down to like a stable 8 volts in, all of the components shot back down to like 80 degrees. Oh, it made a lot, yeah, 79. The the MOSFET is only 76, so it's only the little guy there. And it's only 81 degrees. And again, that's basic ambient temperature here. Coil 82 degrees. I designed a new rotor for up here for the pickup coils. It's going to be a 80 millimeter rotor, and it'll have 6 1-inch N52 magnets on it, and it will be this height, which I think is a perfect height. Yeah, it's like 1 inch. They should be in probably in the middle of the week, and I gotta take this guy apart, but man, it's really hard with this freaking hand. It's getting better, but this finger is still numb from this knuckle up. I cut it the other day and didn't even know that I cut it. Kind of scary. Anyway, stay tuned. So it's working, but it's taking way too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to power charge this thing. I have a charger that I can use just to get it up to the 12 volt range. And then I'm going to use it to power this thing and charge this other one that I have, which is in the same boat as this guy. Like I said, it's got like 5 volts on it now. Anyway, stay tuned. All right, so I've got this wacky rotor here. It's pretty powerful. Let me fire it up. But I'm going to move over to this platform because I want to try out some new circuits that I got. One of them's with K Energy. That's got quite a kick. It's only 11 volts coming in. One of them's from K Energy. The other one's from Redesign 3DP. This is the Bedini circuit from K Energy. I also have a Hall sensor circuit, but I want to try a couple of circuits. This is my test platform, and this is a new rotor I just did. Ooh, that sucker is nice. I should see what kind of output I can get with this. Let me turn it off and put a pickup coil on there and see what kind of output I'm getting. Stay tuned. I'm getting some good output from this one coil that has an iron core, and of course it's not sitting in there optimized, but it'll easily light up 4 of those. I could probably light up all of them. Let me see if I can hook them all up. Stay tuned. Yeah, it easily lights them all up. I have a whole bunch of light LED lights, and I'm building some light bars for them. These are 3D printed bars that have entry points for all the lights. I just have to wire them all up now. Kind of like this, but in bar fashion. That's pretty good just for one coil. I mean, it's not spectacular, but it's pretty cool. But let me get this done and get this guy hooked up with some of those other circuits. Blinking for you guys, but not for me. Still have it floating on the maglev type setup. push this a little bit closer in. Yeah, I have to move out of this setup because I want to do some testing over here. All right, stay tuned. I got to move the Bedini coil closer. I was able to get it started up by moving it really close, but I got to loosen this up and slide it in closer. Stay tuned. That guy is flying, and it's not really secured. It won't do anything. If it pops off, it'll shoot straight up. This is a Bedini coil. I forget how many turns are on there or what the resistance is. But yeah, I'm waiting. I have some N52s coming in tomorrow, which will, I'm going to build another coil just like this one. Yeah, she's getting up there. Solid output even on the camera. I'm going to get my other stand though, because I don't like the fact that this is not secure, but I love the VCR bearing. That's one of the reasons why it can scream like this. This Bedini coil does not have an iron core in it. I have an iron core for it, but not in it right now. All right, let me get the other stand set up. Stay tuned. Or no, actually, I'm going to change out the circuits first. I don't know if I want to keep this set up. Let me see. Stay tuned. This is why I love that VCR bearing. I turned this off like a minute or so ago, and it's still going. Yeah, but that's a little too dangerous for me because I have no way to really secure that down unless I figure out a way to bolt it down through the center, but I really can't. If you guys know what a VCR bearing looks like. All right, let me get the other stand up here so I can be more secure. Stay tuned. Yeah, that stand's a little bit more secure. Can't come flying off of that. And I have that, if you remember, I put the ball bearing down in the bottom there, so this is basically just, it's almost floating. I could make it a maglev. Let me see if I can do that. So this is with the K Energy Bedini circuit. Let me get a different circuit in there. Stay tuned. I like experimenting around too with different coils. This is that curved coil that I use on my maglev. Got it going really well. Gotta be careful because it's not very well supported. In fact, I think it's ready to tip over. But if I push it in a little closer, or if I tilt it on its side like this, it works really well too. I like this coil. Even tilted back like that, it still works pretty good. Anyway, let me stop farting around here. Stay tuned. I had to fart around just a little bit more. My old Sky Collection coil. That thing produces really good. Pancake coil. Works good from a distance too. Solid output. The thing is loose here. All right. Yeah, that's really screaming now. Good old PLA. I started printing with PETG or PETG. It's okay. It's a little bit stronger, more flexible than PLA. So when I print out the N52 holder, the rotor that's going to hold the N52s, I'll print that out of PET G. All right, stay tuned. So I was curious how the big coils from my redesigned 3DP Newman motor would work. So it's still hooked up like a regular Bedini, putting out a lot of output, very bright. I love those coils. That's really thick wire though. I didn't know if it was going to work okay here, but it seems to be working just fine. Get down through there and see what we got going on. Ooh, that's bright. That works out just fine too. All right, I will stop farting around, I promise. Maybe one more time. Stay tuned. Actually, let's see how high we can get it going. There's 19 volts. I don't want to burn up the, yeah, getting a lot of back EMF because it's even lighting up the neon bulb. I better stop messing around. I want to blow the circuit. Yeah, I like those coils, man. They are beautiful. Look at that. Anyway, stay tuned. All right, so I've got to do a lot of work in here before I can get this guy set up properly. I may still address that smaller stand, or I may even bring this guy over to here and put him in the middle and get the other rotor up there, like one of these guys. They work pretty good. But yeah, I got to clean up, so I'm going to call it for today. But I will be back hopefully mañana. Thanks for watching.